Namaste, my dear friends. Goods Transport Agency Services, GTS services. When we talk about GTS services, generally there are some exemptions which is granted to GTA. Now, when I talk about charge, levy of GST, that means is a taxable supply of goods or services only. If it is exempt supply, question of forward charge, reverse charge does not arise. Levy of GST itself does not arise if the supply is basically exempted nature. So, when I said reverse charge, recipient liable to pay GST, then is a taxable supply, then only reverse charge apply by notification notified by the Government of India upon the recommendation of GST Council, so and so service under reverse charge, the recipient liable to pay. Then again here, question of exemption inviting not healthy practice. When I say goods transport agency, he supplied the goods. What type of goods supplied? Sir, agricultural produce supplied, sir. Agricultural produce transported by road by a goods transport agency. Why we should tax here? Which is qualified for exemption. I am talking about taxable only. If the taxable comes into picture, here the GTA has two options. Whether to choose forward charge, then reverse charge won't come into picture. If the GTA not chosen forward charge, I am not going to pay GST. Like that, GTA says, where the recipient being a specified person, recipient liable to pay GST. Now, first and foremost, if the recipient is going to pay the GST, in the case of GTA services, the liability to pay GST in the hands of the recipient is 5% of GST on the freight. The recipient liable to pay GST. The recipient should be, in the given case, a specified person. Meaning what? Specified person means here the following. 1. Factory registered under the Factories Act, a society registered under the Society Registration Act, or a cooperative society established under any law, a registered person GST law, a body corporate under the Companies Act, or it may be LLP, or it may be partnership firm registered in the Partnership Act 1932, or a casual taxable person who is a registered casual taxable person. In that case, in all these cases, if the recipient belongs to this category, recipient liable to pay GST only when the GTA not willing to pay GST under forward charge. That is important. Is an amended provision now. Here they said, in the case of GTA, my dear friends, the option by GTA to pay GST under forward charge mechanism on the services supplied by it during a financial year shall be exercised by making a declaration in Annexure 5 on or before 31st May 2023 for the financial year 23-24 that's talking about. However, GTA commencing new business or crossing registration threshold limit during a financial year, any financial year, will be allowed to exercise this option to pay GST under forward charge mechanism during the year in which it commences the new business or crosses the registration threshold limit. 45 days from the date of applying for registration under GST for registration, or 1 month from the date of obtaining registration, whichever is later, within which you have to declare as a GTA to opt forward charge by submitting Annexure 5. That means if the GTA commences the business in between of the financial year, in that case, today I am going to start the my GTA. I am the GTA. I cross the limit of 20 lakhs turnover in the state of Tamil Nadu. In that case, GTA commence the new business or cross the threshold limit in a financial year will be allowed to exercise the option to pay under the forward charge in that financial year in which they commence the business or cross the threshold limit of registration limit, then within 45 days from the date of applying for registration, or otherwise within 1 month from the date of obtaining registration, whichever date happens to happen later, within which the GTA should submit Annexer 5 declaring in the GST network portal, I am willing to pay GST under forward charge. So if that option exercised by the GTA being a supplier to pay GST under forward charge, it is not going to come under the reverse charge mechanism. The option once you chosen would be valid for a financial year, and a GTA cannot shift to a different option in the same financial year. That means in the year 23-24 you opted this option, then in that year you should be stand with that option only. If you want to switch over to the other option, then you think of next financial year only is a meaning. Now my point here presenting reverse charge mechanism. So reverse charge mechanism in the case of GTA services goods transport agency will come into picture only when supplier not exercise the option to choose forward charge. Now assume a scenario, if the GTA chosen forward charge, here from 18th July 2022 onwards, for them under forward charge to pay GST, two rates are available. Pay 5% GST, interest rate 2.5% CGST, 2.5% GST. Don't ask any input tax credit. Don't ask input tax credit. Pay 5% GST, don't ask input tax credit. On the other hand, GTA, you want to claim more input tax credit. How you want to claim the input tax credit? Yes, sir. That's why I came for forward charge. Okay, in that case, pay 12% of GST on your outward supply of freight and avail the input tax credit. So, payment of 5% without ITC, payment of 12% with the ITC left to you at your tax planning. If you are coming forward and made a declaration in Annexer 5, opted the payment of GST under forward charge. If some of the goods transport agencies strongly opposing, sir, we are thumbed, sir, how can you expect us to pay the GST even 5%? We won't pay, sir. No problem. Who asked you to pay? It is your option to choose forward charge or not to choose. Don't choose. You provide these services to the specified persons, the recipient being a registered person GST law, who liable to pay GST, or a body corporate under GST law, recipient liable to pay GST. Suppose if you transport the goods of, let us say, laptops for HP company, you transport it in your truck, you are a GTA. In that case, GTA supplied services of transportation of laptops of HP Limited. Who liable to pay GST? Recipient, HP Limited, you pay the GST. Under the RCM, Mr. Transporter, namely Mr. GTA, Goods Transport Agency, you relax from your side. Then who is the GTA in the given case? The person who issued the consignment note. The person who issued the consignment note, we call it GTA. GTA, if not opted to pay GST under forward charge, it is under reverse charge. The recipient liable to pay GST if the recipient is a specified person. Government or local authority, further added here, the parliament and state legislatives, and furthermore added here, courts or tribunal. If they are the supplier of services to business entity and the business entity turnover in the preceding financial year exceeded the threshold limit for registration, in that case, in the current year, such supply of services to such business entity will attract the GST provided which is not exempted supply of service. Now, sir, government providing, local authority providing, parliament, state legislatives providing services, court also providing services, the tribunal also providing services. If they provide the service being supplier to the business entity, when it become taxable, sir, all the supply of services by court or tribunal under Schedule 3, supply excludes, no sir, correct? Supply excludes where the supplier is a court or tribunal, provide the services with regard to activities of the court or tribunal. If the court provide the services or the tribunal provide the services which are not in relation to the court activities, in that case, such services not going to qualify under exemption. What type of services, sir? For example, you take Madras High Court, which occupied so much of acres of land. Inside of the Madras High Court, there is an internet issue because there is no proper connectivity. Airtel company approached to the court, sir, please permit me to install cell tower in your premises. I will pay regularly rent to you. Please allow me to install the cell tower. Court agreed. Okay. Monthly, how much you are going to pay the rent? 2 lakh rupees. Also, okay. Granted. So, in the premises of the court, Airtel company installed the cell tower. Regularly paying the rent to court. Court provides the services in relation to court activities. This activity, renting of premises for cell tower, is court activities? Absolutely not. Which will attract the GST. If attract the GST, who liable to pay GST? Court or tribunal not going to pay GST. The recipient, Airtel company, obviously their turnover in the preceding financial year exceeded the threshold limit for registration, undoubtedly. Therefore, Airtel Wala, being a recipient, being a business entity, liable to pay GST for the rent paid to court or tribunal. Similar way, paid to government, central government, state government, or union territory or local authority. Here, further amended provision. When you say central government includes Indian Railways, Ministry of Railways, Union Ministry of Railways. In that case, Railways, Ministry of Railways, being a central government of India, provide any services which are taxable nature to business entity or to any person, irrespective of the recipient is a business entity or not, irrespective of the recipient business entity turnover in the previous year exceeded threshold limit or not, immaterial. As long as forward charge comes into picture, supplier only liable to pay GST. Here one exception is available, sir. Reverse charge not applicable if the supplier of the services being a central government department, namely Ministry of Indian Railways. If so, the Ministry of Indian Railways only liable to pay GST for their output supply under the forward charge. It is not going to be reverse charge, though the Ministry of Indian Railways may be in central government. In spite of that, from 20th October 2023, amendment has been taken place. The recipient not liable to pay if the supplier is a Ministry of Indian Railways, namely Indian Railways. If they provide the services which is taxable nature, from 20th October 2023, who liable to pay GST? Supplier, being Indian Railways only liable to pay GST, irrespective of the recipient is a business entity or not. Services supplied by a director of a company or a body corporate to the said company or body corporate director of a company. A case of Rani Limited. On the other hand, Raja Limited. Rani Limited appointed Miss Rani as nominee director in Raja Limited. appointed by Rani Limited. So Miss Rani is a nominee director on behalf of Rani Limited in the Raja Limited. Very good. Concept clear. Now, Miss Rani, who is a nominee director, absolutely not employee of Raja Limited, services supplied by Miss Rani to Raja Limited in her private capacity, in her personal capacity, by way of renting of immobile property which is owned by Miss Rani, that property given on rental basis for commercial purposes to Raja Limited and collecting the rent. In that case, Raja Limited paid the rent to the landlord, namely Miss Rani. Miss Rani provide the rental services. Is it in the course of her directorship as a nominee director? Absolutely not. It is in her personal capacity. This point sometimes before I clarified, now also I am clarifying, which is not under RCM. Not a RCM. Raja Limited not liable to pay GST for the rent paid to Miss Rani. Therefore, if and if liable to pay GST by Miss Rani as a forward charge. Only those services supplied by director of a company or body corporate which are supplied by him as in the capacity of director of that company or body corporate shall be taxable under RCM in the hands of the company or body corporate, but not as personal capacity. Director provides the services to the company, then that is not under the RCM, is a clarification which I already referred. I also referred here again. Services which are import of services. In case of import of services, who liable to pay GST? Import of services, first of all, one should understand there are few exemptions out there. If exempted supply, question of taxation does not arise. Neither supplier liable to pay nor recipient liable to pay. Now, in case of import of services, where if the service is OIDAR nature, online information database access or retrieval services. What do you mean by OIDAR? We have a big list. In fact, OIDAR service means a big list is there. First you have to understand OIDAR services, which includes the following. From 1st October 2023 onwards, Section 2, Subsection 17 of IGST Act got amended. Definition regarding OIDR. Online information and database access or retrieval services means services whose delivery in is mandated by information technology over the internet or an electronic network, and the nature of which renders their supply impossible to ensure in the absence of information technology and includes electronic services such as advertising on the internet, providing cloud services. What do you mean by cloud services? OneDrive package. OneDrive. I want to store my files in the OneDrive where I am paying and purchasing that particular application, that particular software with goods readily available in the market to buy and sell. Or antivirus, paying through online downloading antivirus. This is called cloud, where service is availed by way of OIDR nature. In that case, provisions of ebook facility available, movie, music, software and other intangibles through telecommunication networks are available through internet, providing data or information retrieval or otherwise to any person in electronic form through a computer network is available. Online supplies of digital content like movies, television, shows, music and the like is available through internet to purchase it and download it. Digital data storages. What do you mean by digital data storages? Like, my dear friends, nowadays AI gamma, artificial intelligence gamma, if I simply type, I want to know GST under the CGST Act in India, then that particular gamma will prepare a big test, 4 or 5 pages he will provide to me there. Then only I have to just refer 1 or 2 pages, I have to change it. So like that, if I ask PowerPoint presentation, he will prepare and provide to me, artificial intelligence. Just I have to give the requirement of mine. So such a type of things, digital data storages. And from 1st October 2023 onwards, online information database access and retrieval services, which includes online gaming, excluding the online money gaming as defined in clause 80 capital B of section 2 of the CGST Act. That means to say that online money gaming not form part of OIDR service. Of course, when you refer online gaming definition, which includes online money gaming, but under OIDR services from 1st October 2023, OIDR includes online gaming but excludes online money gaming, for which online money gaming separate treatment. There is a meaning of it. Now coming to our regular study, we are here. In the given case, my dear sir, import of services. By whom? Import of services by non-taxable online recipient. Non-taxable online recipient definition section 2 subsection 16 of IGST also we got amended from 1st October 2023, which is as follows. Non-taxable online recipient means from 1st October 2023 onwards, defined under section 2 subsection 16 is as follows. Any unregistered person receiving online information database access retrieval services, namely OIDR services, located in the taxable territory, unregistered person, any person who is unregistered person. See, these children, how effectively, so interestingly wanted to listen and acquire the knowledge through internet. They are open the internet or their laptop with the help of internet connection, system software. They are watching the mathematics equations explained by one professor and they are learning. This mathematics classes really available in the cloud. Just they have to make the payment, download it and watch. That means OIDR nature. What is OIDR nature? In other way around, simple to say. Simple to say, you are being a CA final student, purchased Rafi sir crash course CA final IDT backup classes, which is available in Rafi sir Rafi Academy app. At any time, at your convenience, you just log in it and watch. Where you made the payment through my system software available, application separate Rafi Academy app is available. You open that app and you paid the payment through that app, rupees 5,000, and purchased that particular classes and started to watch. When you are watching, you got a time midnight 2 o'clock. That time you woke up, oh, I want to study. Then open the laptop or the system and open the Rafi Academy app. Rafi sir, first lecture, what he told, first class scope of supply. Now you're listening. You make the payment, purchase it. That means what? That time 2 o'clock midnight Rafi sir will come and stand in front of you, physical to take class? No, it's already recorded, pre-recorded one, which is available through system software using internet. Without internet or without system software, impossible to provide such a services called as OIDR services. It's a OIDR service only. But present live classes, I am taking the classes by standing in front of you people. Physically, I am taking classes through system software using the internet, not a OIDR services. Same classes recorded and kept available in the application app to watch at any time at your convenience is OIDR service. Now, you are CA final student, paid the fees through internet and watching classes which is available in the Rafi Academy app. You are a recipient. You are a best example. You are a non-taxable online recipient. Who is a non-taxable online recipient? The person who received the OIDS services through system software, through internet, is basically unregistered person. You are an unregistered person. They give an explanation here. Who is unregistered person? Means unregistered person includes a person registered solely in terms of class 6 of section 24 of the CGST. What do you mean this? It's a premature to refer, but you are mature enough to understand. Sir, government, central government, state government, unitary, governmental agencies, local authorities are required to deduct TDS, tax deducted at source, under section 51 of the CGST. For doing so, the TDS amount should be remitted to the Department of GST through network portal by those government agencies, government departments who are bound to take the TDS wherever TDS applicable for the given supply they received and make the payment to department. While making the payment to department, the TDS what they deducted, being a government or local authority or government agency, for example, in that case, unless they got registered under the GST law as TDS deductor, they are not allowed to pay. So, a government department basically not required to register under GST law because they are not liable to pay GST at all. However, since the government department, to them, if I provide the services, if I provide the taxable goods and services where the TDS applicable applied, the government department being a recipient, deduct the TDS, and the whatever amount TDS deducted out of my supply should deposit to department account. Who are there to deposit unless they got registered? Therefore, they got registered as a TDS deductor, a separate registration. If that is the case, that government department, that government agency, that central government, that state government department or the local authority who got registered with GST law only to pay the TDS, they also be called as unregistered person, though they are holding a registration GST law as a TDS deductor. Only TDS deductor registration they having, therefore they also be called as unregistered persons. As a result, now come back, import of services by non-taxable online recipient means what they are importing, they are importing only OIDR service only importing. If it is yes, is it for consideration? Yes. OIDR only received? Yes. Then the OIDR only liable to pay GST. Supplier only liable to pay GST. Supplier only liable to pay GST, not at RCM. That is what the beauty I want to bring to notice here. Who is the recipient? Non-taxable online recipient. Who is the non-taxable online recipient? Unregistered person. Who is the unregistered person? I am Mr. Rafi. Unregistered person in GST law. couple of days before, I purchased PDF edit software. I want for my personal purposes. I searched in the internet one company which is incorporated in USA providing this PDF editor software, and these features are so good for me. Therefore, I want to buy that software. They said, pay $6 for 7 days. Pay $370 per year. So I selected $6. Almost all 600 plus GST, IGST, almost 700 rupees come to me. Who is supplier? USA based company. Who is the recipient? Mr. Rafi. Who is he? Uninsured person. Mr. Rafi is called as non-taxable online recipient. Where he located? In India. Import these services from USA. In that case, who is the supplier of OIDR service? USA supplier. In that case, concession is there? Concession is there, sir. I paid equivalent to Indian rupees, $6 equivalent to Indian rupees I paid, sir. Then supplier, USA company, only liable to pay GST for the given OIDR services. USA company says, I am not having business in India. So what? You have to have a business in India to pay GST. Sir, I am not having that much of money to invest and open a branch office in India. No. Is it so? No problem. Hey, OIDR supplier, you please have to have a representative in India to pay the GST. Sir, why should I have the representative, sir? I won't like. Is it so? Then the government of India says, hey, USA company, we are not willing to allow you to provide your OIDR services in India. Get out. Then that will afraid to have a person in India to pay the GST. That means to say that supplier, hey, OIDR wala, you only liable to pay GST. If you supply the services for consideration to whom? To non-taxable online recipient. Who is they? They are registered persons, which includes government agencies, government, central government department, central government, state government department, local authorities, or any governmental agencies who got registered in GST law only to deduct the TDS and pay to department. For that they got registration. They also be called as unregistered persons. In that case, who liable to pay GST? Supplier. Why they are only liable to pay GST? In all other cases, sir, OIDR services imported by registered person, sir. So, in that case, being a registered person in India, recipient liable to pay GST because import of services, liability to pay GST of OIDR services is on whom? On recipient. Recipient only liable to pay GST under RC. Another important mind-blowing amended provision I am bringing here is an amendment which is applicable for our coming exam of May 2024 onwards. Transportation of goods by a vessel from a place outside India up to the customs station of clearances in India, where the sea freight on which IGST liable to pay by import in India was the law which is not right said by Supreme Court of India, even in the case of Mohit Minerals Private Limited. Earlier, Gujarat High Court said it is not to be levy IGST on sea freight in the given case. Same has been confirmed by Supreme Court of India not to levy the IGST. Now, by giving the due respect to the judiciary pronouncement, the Government of India, upon the recommendation of GST Council, made amendment. Before making the amendment, what the law actually it is, I will tell you here by showing this particular diagrammatic way of presentation. Transportation of goods by a vessel from a place outside India up to the customs station of clearances in India, where the importer was liable to pay GST, now not liable to pay GST because this is omitted from the RCM. Therefore, importer not liable to pay GST, namely IGST, on such sea freight not liable to pay. No IGST on ocean freight in case of import of goods on CIF basis. With effect from 1st October 2023, the government has exempted payment made for goods imported through ocean freight from 5% of IGST. Now, no GST. Actually, what is it is? Look here, importer place the order to a foreign supplier for the want of the goods. Foreign supplier from Australia exporting the goods to India, import in India is importing the goods. Therefore, foreign exporter from Australia approached a shipper company of USA, where shipper company of USA made available the ship at Australian port to load that goods. And the goods after loading transported to India where the importer is located. Here, sea freight who charged foreign company, USA company, to whom charged? To foreign exporter, namely Australian company. So Australian supplier who export the goods to India also paid sea freight to USA foreign company, shipper company. Now the goods has been landed to India, Indian port where the importer is there. Chennai port it came. Now foreign exporter wanted to raise the bill. He said he raised the bill at a CIF price. Why? The goods which is came to India at a CIF price. C means what? A cost of the goods plus insurance plus freight. Totally CIF value. So this sea freight, which is form part of CIF value, which is a composite supply. For an importer, the principal supply is import of goods. Accordingly, custom duty paid by the importer to Department of Customs, not only basic custom duty, but also he paid IGST, which is additional custom duty under section 3, subsection 7 of the Customs Tariff Act 1975. Mr. Importer paid the import duty, which includes IGST. Department of GST here, hey Mr. Importer, this is a freight, sea freight is import of service, pay IGST on sea freight. Importer here is Mohit Mineral Private Limited. Replied, hey department officer of GST, unfair. I imported these goods. Goods includes cost of the sea freight. And the total composite supply, it as a supply of import of goods. I paid IGST also in the name of additional custom duty, in addition to basic custom duty to Department of Customs. Again, some of the element of that particular port, you removing separately, treating as a sea freight, import of services, pay IGST. If we say is not a double taxation, it is not against basic fundamental concept of GST. GST what for brought? To eliminate double taxation. This is one of the foundation stone. Then again you are bringing and taxing, unfair. Don't tax me. Department not listen. No, the law is very clearly here there. Therefore you have to pay IGST. The particular provision is clearly mentioned under section 5 of the IGST. You will able to pay IGST. The law is mentioned like this. Then the Mohit Mineral Private Limited got agreed with this, went to Gujarat High Court. Gujarat High Court said long back, hey, department, it is double taxation. Don't levy that IGST on sea freight. Judgment given in favor of Mohit Minerals Private Limited. Department not listened. How can you say like that judgment? I will go to Supreme Court because the Act says very clearly to levy the IGST on sea freight in the given case. The matter went to Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court of India said, department, High Court is the Supreme Court of the state. Rightly they given judgment not to levy double taxation. The basic concept of your GST not to levy twice for one transaction. GST. Therefore, in the given case, the judgment given by Gujarat High Court in the case of Mohit Minerals Private Limited is perfectly correct, said by the Supreme Court of India. Then became a Supreme Court of India judgment. Then the GST Council, Supreme Court said no, we have to respect. GST Council accordingly amended the law Now they said, no IGST on ocean freight in case of import of goods on CF basis. In by separate notification also issued, and they amend the Act Section 5 of the IGST Act not to levy IGST on such import of sea freight. Import of goods, sea freight should not levy IGST if the imports taking place on CF basis. So no IGST from 1st October 2023. Now the point arises here is what happened prior to 1st October 2023. There are some importers across the India, pan-India basis imported, and department asked to pay. We paid also IGST on such sea freight. Can I claim refund now? Allowed, said by the particular GST council here. They said taxpayers who have paid GST on ocean freight on imported goods will be entitled to claim refund following the Supreme Court verdict, provided they have not claimed input tax credit. That is important. You claiming input tax credit benefit, claiming refund of the same, unjust enrichment. Of course, whenever you take refund, subject to unjust enrichment, you should not get double benefit. If not claim input tax credit of that IGST paid by you on sea freight, claim refund. Further, importers who had not paid the tax on import of such ocean freight service would no longer be required to pay on such services in view of the said judgment. If already paid, ask for refund, where you should not claim input tax credit. If not paid, disputing, fighting with the department, then not required to pay. Now, allowed refund of IGST paid on ocean freight beyond the limitation period prescribed under GST law. It is the study of yours. Sir, to claim the refund under section 54 of the CGST, there is a time limit of 2 years from the date of relevant date. What is the relevant date here? Date of export. From the date of export within 2 years, you are allowed to claim the refund if it is export. In the case of import takes place, 2 years time period reckoned from the date of payment of import duty. Within 2 years, you are allowed to claim refund. In the given case, by the time 1st October 2023, this notification issued by the Government of India not to pay IGST, I came to know that for my case, it is beyond 2 years from the date of payment of import duty. The limitation period prescribed under section 54, 2 years I crossed. Can I claim refund? Here, the presence of the taxpayer awareness is required. The tax advisor should advise properly, saying that, hey, Mr. Importer, have you paid the import duty on such ocean freight where you import the goods at safe value? Yes, sir. By the time I came to know on 1st October 2023, more than 2 years time period over, sir. Limitation period to claim refund under section 54 is crossed, sir. Don't worry, still you are eligible to claim refund because the tax what you paid IGST on sea freight, which is not required to pay, which is not the tax to pay. What is not the tax to pay, but you paid. Therefore, is only amount paid. To claim refund of the amount, time limit of 2 years prescribed under section 54 not applicable. You can claim at any time in your lifetime. Sir, how can you say, Mr. Taxpayer, like this? Sir, I have a particular judgment in this regard. The Honorable High Court, Gujarat, in Comson Energy Private Limited, decided allowed to refund claim of IGST paid on ocean freight under the reverse charge mechanism beyond the statutory time limit prescribed under section 54 of the CGST Act, held that the amount collected without authority of law cannot be considered as a tax collected, and therefore section 54 of the CGST Act not applicable. What I was paid, not the tax, only amount, because authority has no authority to collect any tax in the given case. Therefore, what I was paid on such ocean freight IGST is not a GST. Therefore, that is the only amount I can claim even after 2 years time period over from the relevant date as prescribed in section 54 to claim refund. Even beyond that limitation period, I am allowed to claim refund is the point here. This entire combination one can expect in the examination as a comprehensive study. Renting of motor vehicle, important to note. Renting of motor vehicle, where cost of the fuel is included in the cost of the rent and the supplier is not charging the GST, neither 5% GST not charging, not 12% GST charging. Forward charge not operated by this renting of motor wala. In that case, such a renting of motor services provided to body corporate registered under the taxable territory, being a recipient body corporate located in India, the recipient being a body corporate liable to pay GST. Renting of motor vehicle, cost of the fuel including the cost of the rent, because the transportation of passenger vehicle. See, the vehicle look like passenger vehicle. Transportation of passenger vehicle is considered, my dear friends, where the supply of renting of motor vehicle, cost of fuel is included and the supplier is a person other than the body corporate, not opting for forward charge. In that case, recipient being a body corporate liable to pay GST. In that case, I am bringing here one clarification of the CBIC here. Corporate company taken vehicle, passenger vehicle on rental basis. Meaning what? Whether I am going to use or not, I have to pay fixed rent to my supplier of service. If so, corporate company received this rental of vehicle services for their employees pick up and drop purpose, reverse charge applicable or not? Absolutely applicable. Where the supplier is other than the body corporate, recipient is a body corporate, renting of motor vehicle meant for transportation of passengers under RCM. Now clarification given here. When services are provided by a non-body corporate to a body corporate by way of renting of any motor vehicle for transportation of passengers, whether RCM is applicable here? Answer. As per the circular of the CBIC, it has been clarified that where the body corporate hires the motor vehicle for transportation of employees, etc., for a period of time during which the motor vehicle shall be at the disposal of the body corporate, namely recipient, the services would be fall under the so and so heading. Accordingly, body corporate liable to pay GST under RCM as if they are the recipient of the renting of motor vehicle services. RCM applicable. When RCM not applicable means if the employer company, the company body corporate not taken the vehicle on rental basis but booking the ticket for their employees for computation is a passenger transportation service. In that case, which is not owned, which is not received at the disposal of the body corporate, it is at the disposal of the supplier of service being a transport of passengers. In that case, in that voyage, a bus routing to one place to other place, generally the supplier of services where our employees are getting in, boarding and getting out. In that case, is only a transportation of passenger services not taken on rental basis. If so, RCM not applicable, said by the CBIC in the given circular, which is also been additional point to look into the exam of CMA, CA, inter final level of May 2024 exam onwards.